You think you have all the time in the world. You're convinced that your age, your wisdom, your composed nature will be enough to make her respect you and stay. But the truth is, no one tells older men who chase younger women this. It's not your money, charm, experience, or calm attitude that she notices first. Instead, it's your desperation, which you've mistaken for interest. It's your need for her to validate your silent hope that she'll make you feel young again. This is the exact moment she starts to play you. It's the second an older man forgets who he is and starts chasing her energy instead of protecting his own. He loses everything. This isn't just about age. It's about dignity, about power, and about one mistake men make that can't be undone. If you're an older man, even just 5 years older, you're with a younger woman, watch until the end. Because if you do this one thing, she and you will never see you the same again. Let's start reason 1. You turn into someone you're not. The moment you start acting her age, you're announcing that you're ashamed of your own. Here's what happened during those first 30 seconds. The CEO, David, saw this beautiful young woman and instantly regressed. His voice got higher, his posture changed, and he began using slang he'd never used before. He brought up TikTok, talked about music he didn't listen to, and laughed too loud at things that weren't funny. In 30 seconds, he went from a distinguished man to a desperate boy. She didn't leave because he was older. She left because he was fake. Think about what initially attracted her to him. Was it his youth? No, she's surrounded by young men. Was it his energy? No, she has more energy than he does. Was it his knowledge of pop culture? No, she lives in it. It was his presence, his confidence, and his gravitas. It was the way he carried himself like a man who had nothing to prove. The way he spoke with the authority of experience and moved through the world like he belonged there. But the moment he saw her, he threw all of that away. The philosopher Marcus Aurelius wrote, "How much trouble he avoids, who does not look to see what his neighbor says or does." The older man who starts competing with younger men has forgotten his own value. He's measuring himself against the wrong standard. You're not 25 anymore. Stop trying to be. Your gray hair isn't a flaw. It's a badge of survival. Your lines aren't a sign of decline. They're evidence of laughter, concern, and wisdom. Your experience isn't a burden. It's your greatest asset. Reason 2. You treat her like your midlife crisis trophy. The moment you start showing her off like a prize, you've proven you don't see her as a person. Here's the second way older men destroy attraction. They turn the relationship into a public validation exercise. They can't wait to post photos together, introduce her to everyone they know, talk about her like she's an achievement rather than a person. It's like they're saying, look at what I can still get at my age. But here's what you've just revealed. You don't value her for who she is. You value her for what she represents. You don't love her. You love what dating her says about you. This is devastating for 2 reasons. First, it shows her you're insecure about your own worth. A man who needs a young woman to validate his desirability is a man who doesn't understand his own value. And nothing kills attraction faster than insecurity disguised as confidence. Second, it reduces her to an object. She's not your fountain of youth. She's not your ego boost. She's not proof that you've still got it. She's a person with her own dreams, goals, fears, and insecurities. She's not an accessory to your story. She's the protagonist of her own. The moment you start treating her like she exists to make you feel better about yourself, you've lost her respect. And without her respect, you'll never have her love. Seneca understood this. Every change of fortune is either a test of character or a gift of wisdom. The way you treat her reveals your character. Are you a man who sees people as people, or a man who sees them as objects for his own gratification? Young women can smell desperation from a mile away. They can sense when a man needs them versus when a man wants them. They can tell the difference between genuine interest and ego validation. When you parade her around like a trophy, you're announcing to the world and to her that you're not secure in your own value. You're saying your worth depends on her presence in your life. Stop for a moment and think about the last time you met someone impressive. Were you more attracted to them because they needed your validation or because they were complete without it? The same principle applies here. Your independence is your attractiveness. Reason 3. You try to relive your youth through her. The man who uses her as a time machine will lose both her and himself. Here's the third fatal mistake that destroys everything. Using her as your personal fountain of youth. Start going to clubs you haven't been to in 20 years. You start staying out until 3 a.m. when you used to be asleep by 10 p.m. You start drinking like you're 25 and paying for it like you're 50. You think you're being young and fun, proving you can keep up with her lifestyle. But what you're actually doing is abandoning the very qualities that made you attractive in the first place. She's not attracted to you because you can party like a young man. She's attracted to you because you've evolved beyond the need to prove yourself through partying. She's not interested in you because you have the energy of a 25-year-old. She's interested in you because you have the wisdom of someone who has lived. When you start trying to match her energy, you're competing in a game you cannot win. You don't have the recovery time, the metabolism, or the priorities of a 25-year-old. And that's exactly why she's attracted to you. The philosopher Epictetus taught, "Don't demand that things happen as you wish. Wish that they happen as they do happen, and you will go on well." Your reality is that you're older. Your reality is that you have different energy levels, different priorities, and different responsibilities. Stop fighting that reality. Start using it as your advantage. She doesn't want another 25-year-old man. She has unlimited access to those. She wants a man who's past the phase of trying to prove himself by staying out all night, drinking too much, and acting like he's got something to prove. She wants stability and security. She wants someone who has figured out who he is and doesn't need to constantly prove it. She wants a man who's comfortable in his own skin, at his own pace, with his own priorities. When you abandon all of that to try to keep up with her lifestyle, you're throwing away your competitive advantage. You're giving up what makes you unique, to compete in an arena where you'll always lose. But here's the deeper problem. You're also losing yourself. You're becoming someone you don't recognize to impress someone who was already impressed by who you were. The most tragic part is that she'll lose respect for you, not because you can't keep up, but because you're trying to. She'll be disappointed. Not because you're older, because you're pretending you're not. Here's what you should do instead. Be honest about your limitations. When she wants to stay out late, sometimes say no. When she wants to go to loud clubs, suggest quieter alternatives. When she wants to drink all night, have a couple and call it good. Don't abandon your lifestyle to accommodate hers. Get to integrate her into your world. Don't disappear into hers. Show her what a mature, established lifestyle looks like. Let her see what it's like to be with a man who knows what he wants and isn't afraid to ask for it. Your age isn't your enemy. Your experience isn't your burden. Your maturity isn't your limitation. These are your superpowers. Your gray hair isn't a sign of decline. It's a badge of survival. Your experience isn't a burden. It's your greatest asset. Your maturity isn't a limitation. It's your competitive advantage. The right young woman won't want you to be someone else. She'll want you to be exactly who you are, a man who's been tested by life and emerged stronger, wiser, more confident, and more secure. Own your age, embrace your experience, value your wisdom, be proud of your journey. And if she's not attracted to that man, she's not the right woman for you. Because the right woman won't want you to change. She'll want you to be more of who you already are. The man who is ashamed of his journey has forgotten how far he has traveled. Stop being ashamed, start being proud. Your age isn't your weakness. It's your strength. Use it. You think you have all the time in the world. If you're convinced that your age, your wisdom, your composed nature will be enough to make her respect you and stay. But the truth is, no one tells older men who chase younger women this. It's not your money, charm, experience, or calm attitude that she notices first. Instead, it's your desperation, which you've mistaken for interest. It's your need for her. To validate you, your silent hope that she'll make you feel young again. This is the exact moment she starts to play you. Because the second an older man forgets who he is, and starts chasing her energy instead of protecting his own, he loses everything. This isn't just about age. It's about dignity, about power. and about one mistake men make that can't be undone. If you're an older man, even just 5 years older, and you're with a younger woman, watch until the end. Because if you do this one thing, she and you will never see you the same again. Let's start reason 1. You turn into someone you're not. The moment you start acting her age, you're announcing that you're ashamed of your own. Here's what happened during those first 30 seconds. The CEO, David, saw